Right, Kiara? Matt, you there, buddy?
Here, can you hear me well?
Oh, Matt, how you doing? Oh,
I'm
perfect.
doing well, Gene.
I'm doing well because I'm talking to you. That always
Good to
gets.
be back on.
You're a veteran, man. This is like your fourth appearance. I mean, it's a tradition.
I'm a regular.
But hey, thanks for coming on, and I want you to put on two hats today, if you could. Okay, and I mentioned the first hat to you about prognostication and all that, but I understand that you have endorsed Elizabeth Warren. Is that right?
Yeah, I think I will be voting for her. I don't know how many people. I guess some people, a couple hundred people, retweeted my tweet.
Well, I
guess
watched
people care what my endorsement means.
Well, here's the thing. I don't want to put you on the spot, but I have endorsed Mayor Bloomberg, and I had Susan Platt on earlier today. She's obviously endorsing Joe Biden. She was his chief of staff when he was in the Senate, and I'm trying to get all views because you know what, Matt? Here's the deal. Whoever is the nominee of the D Party, I'm going to fight like heck to help her or him prevail. That's a given. That's a given. And
Right.
I don't know anybody. I don't know anybody who says otherwise in the D Party.
Nope.
Maybe a couple. But I wanted to focus on data because we both love data.
Yeah.
I want you to give a little lay of the land because you tweet a lot on the Electoral College. And one of the things you tweet about is, oh, by the way, what's your Twitter handle, sir? Your Twitter handle?
Politidope. POLITIDOPE.
Yeah.
You new way of doing politics.
You oftentimes tweet the Electoral College and you focus on the women's vote. So just
Yes.
tell my listeners, by the way, I got to do this every couple of minutes. This is the Gene Rossi Show, and you can call in at 804-888. I'm sorry, 804-778-8888. I'll repeat that, 804-778-8888. You can listen live at WJFNradio.com. We're a Richmond station, 100.5 FM. So let's go back. So tell the listeners about this map that you often tweet that I love because I always retweet it.
So essentially, and we all know that it's not going to be perfect. There are some people who say that they disapprove of Trump and will go and vote for him. But realistically, that number is probably 3%, if we're being generous, of people who say, I disapprove of Trump, but Democrats are worse. So generally, the way I create the map is I look at the president's approve, disapprove in all states, all 50 states, and based on that, I shade the states light blue, medium blue, dark blue, and then accordingly light red, medium red, strong red, like Missouri. No matter how you cut it, states like West Virginia, those are going for Donald Trump. I got big hopes for Doug Jones, another one. Alabama, that's going to go that way. And I've been doing this for over 6 months now, and time after time after time, while people worry about impeachment on the horizon hurting Democrats, now in retrospect thinking about impeachment hurting Democrats, nearly every time I do this, the Democrat or the blue category in this space has around 350 electoral college votes, and Trump has about 180. Now he has like I said, that 3%, 4% maybe who will say I hate Trump, but Democrats are socialists or Democrats like black people or whatever it is that will cause people to go and vote the other way. But people are way too frantic and ridiculous about this incredibly unpopular criminal president. And, the ridiculousness was never better displayed than a week ago when this guy had one poll said he was at 49%, and the world was on fire. Barack Obama's average was 49.5. Average was 49.5. But, Democrats were always in disarray during that time. But now this guy gets one poll that sees at 49%, and the world just is in disarray. Democrats have to, even if you're not a Democrat, if you don't like Donald Trump, you have to find solace and the truth that this man won 77,000 votes in 3 states. Wake up, get somebody out to vote, and stop looking at these polls. He is the most unpopular president in modern American history, in the history of polling.
I do want to just say this. I try to be fair and balanced, and I don't mean that facetiously. There are 3 things that Donald Trump has that are just incredible assets for him. All right. Actually 4. And I'll start off with the first one. He's an incredible entertainer, and he has an incredible fervent following. That's number 1. Number 2, he is an incumbent, and it's always helpful. Even though Gerald Ford lost in '76 to Jimmy Carter, and by the way, I did vote for Gerald Ford. I didn't like Carter that year. And then I voted for Carter in '80. Go figure.
Oh, man, go figure.
But Gerald Ford was written off for dead. He was 31 points behind Jimmy Carter in August of '76. And he lost, I think, by 1.5, mainly because he was an incumbent. The other advantage for Donald Trump is money. He's going to raise a lot of money. Now, if Michael Bloomberg is the nominee, I'm supporting him. I think that money advantage is going to go away big. But the last thing is the economy's not doing great. I would give it sort of a B plus. I don't know if I'd give it an A minus. It's a B plus economy, but people think it's going well. About 60% feel the economy's going well, if not higher. So those are 3 advantages, but I want to go back to what you said, and I agree. The data, I look at data. In New Hampshire, since 2016, 20,000 Republicans have changed their registration in New Hampshire. Why is that important? 1, New Hampshire is a tiny state, not as tiny as Connecticut and Rhode Island, but it's a small state. And Hillary only won New Hampshire by about 2,800 votes.
Yep.
So that's a sea change, and I cannot believe that same data that I just mentioned for New Hampshire is not occurring in other swing states, because New Hampshire is a swing state because it was so close. And it gets to your map. It gets to the map that I love. If the number of women voting in November of this year is 53 or 54%, you can guarantee that President Trump is only going to get about 38, and the D will get about 62. And just do arithmetic. It's hard as heck to win an election when 54% are women and 62% of the 54% is voting against you. That's hard as heck. It really is. So
you wonder why he's trying to cheat and ask foreign governments to investigate his opponents. But maybe he's just doing that because he is so confident that his poll numbers were at 49%. But
I forgot to introduce your background. You are Chief of Staff to State Senator David Marsden, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I am.
Okay. Can you give us a little gossip, or I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but can you give us a little inside baseball on what's going on in the capital, Richmond?
The Democrats are passing bills that have died for years and years on the Republican desk. Things that people only talked about and used about on Daily Kos or on Twitter. We passed automatic voter registration. There are some big ticket items that, honestly are stalling. But at the same time, this is going to be, your B plus, A minus analogy. At the very least, this will be a B plus General Assembly session, and something that this state has not had ever. We have never had a progressive legislature. In '92, when Democrats controlled, that was not a progressive party at all. Now we are a liberal to progressive party, and we've passed some important super important legislation. Passed a bill to mandate 100% clean energy by 2050. So we didn't pass the Green New Deal, but we passed something that says that by 2040 we'll be at 70% clean energy. So that's inside baseball.
Wow, wow. I got to say this. I am very proud of the Democratic Party in Virginia. I'm so proud. I'm going to their gala tonight, and hopefully Diane and I will have fun. But I just got to tell the listeners, Eileen Filicorn has made history in many ways. Is she the first Jewish speaker, in addition to being the first woman?
Got to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's just amazing. Matt, I moved here. Diane and I moved to Virginia in 1989, and I can tell you, since 1989, Virginia is changed dramatically. When I was in the U.S. Attorney's Office in the 90s, the jury pool would be very pro-prosecution because you had a lot of military folks, you had a lot of law enforcement, and it wasn't a very diverse pool. This is in the 90s. But right before I retired in 2016, the jury pools would be incredibly diverse, number one, and number two, few and fewer law enforcement compared to other areas of occupation. And the state is just changing so much, and I'm proud to be part of it. We are the classic purple state. Let's go to November. What do you think? Depending on the Democratic candidate, do you think Virginia is going to be a blue or a red state in November?
You know, and Gene, I had a great time with our guest last time that was on with me. I just fundamentally I don't know where that guy was coming from with his stuff, to be honest. He put out a map that he predicts that possibly New Hampshire is going red, to completely, not looking at the data of what you're talking about just now with New Hampshire. Virginia, I cannot envision a scenario where Trump is on the ballot again. We've been waiting for him, honestly, here in Virginia. We've been getting out the vote in the 2017 election. They always say the party, that the off-year elections always benefit the Republicans. Okay, they got their butts whooped. In 17, Ralph Northam wins by nearly 10 points. Democrats win the popular vote by 10 points. Kane wins by upper teens in 18. 19, we do it again. There is not a realistic scenario where everybody needs to still get out to vote, of course. Everybody still needs to go and, find people who aren't registered and get them out to vote. We got to run these margins up. And yes, we should beat this clown by 10 million votes nationwide, because as much as people want to act like the votes of individual Americans don't matter, they do matter. And we need to get out the vote. And there's no way that this clown wins Virginia, period.
Well, I can just tell you, based on my speeches and appearances and going to events, I can tell you this. In 2016, because I was just running for lieutenant governor, the mood in 2016 is a lot different than it is now in this sense.
Oh, yeah.
In 2016, it was, people were supporting Hillary, but it didn't have that fervency and sense of urgency that people have now. It was sort of like, I'm going to support her. She'll be the first woman president. Yep. I like her. She's competent, but I'm not going to walk over a crushed glass, hot coals, or swallow crushed glass. That's one of my phrases. I get the feeling there are so many people that are going to walk over hot coals and swallow crushed glass, not only to vote themselves, but to talk to 10, 15, 20 people and persuade them to vote and get them to get 10, 20, 20 people to vote. That's the feeling I get. And I have a prediction. I don't think it's going to be 10. Hillary won by 3 million, unless you take the position that all of them were illegal. But she won by 3 million, all right? I think the D is going to win by 5 million. That's my prediction. 5 million.
That's my low prediction. That's my low side of my prediction.
Oh, really?
The,
Really?
the Democratic Party was asleep on Election Day 2016.
I agree.
Let's be honest. We were asleep. We were buying champagne. We got up at 10 a.m. and we were buying champagne and planning our election night party.
Are you serious?
No, that's everybody's mindset. When
Yeah.
on Election Day 2016, everybody was feeling good. Everybody was gliding through the day. We're going to win it. Worst case scenario, Hillary wins a small victory. That is not the case this time. Everybody knows there's a chance that Donald Trump wins, and you are going to have millions of people, even people who in 17, 18, 19 didn't do anything. They are going to get out and hit doors this year. They're going to vote. They're going to get their friends to vote. They're going to get their newly eligible, kids in their family to vote. You watch, Gene. This is going to be something we talk about for decades.
It's going to be historic. And here's the thing: if Donald Trump had just kept his tweets to a minimum and had not done crazy stuff after he got acquitted, okay?
Yep.
If he had showed some humility, some contrition, and remorse, if he had done that instead of doing this revenge tour where he's getting rid of people left and right, reopening investigations, closing investigations. If he had not done that, then people would say, you know what, maybe the guy learned and he's not going to do it again. But now people realize we can't go to the impeachment well again. It's too late. The only impeachment well we have is November 3rd of this year when we vote. And that's a powerful motivator. That's a powerful motivator. So
huge mistake on his part.
Anyway, hey, Matt.
Clinton was vindicated. Obviously people thought he was guilty, but they let him go. He said he was sorry. He did something stupid. He moved on. But sorry.
Oh, no. I remember when Clinton was going through his mess, his approval rating actually went up because he showed some humility and remorsefulness.
Like a normal human being.
Anyway, I just got the hook from my wonderful producer, Kiera Johnson. So, Matt, we're going to have you on again, if you'll let us. And we'll pick maybe in about a month. I try to do this every 3 to 4 weeks. So we'll have you on again.